No. That's not what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is offering some other value in ways beyond just beyond company dollar. Okay, beyond just commission split. There's ways that you can leverage your compensation plan so it's actually a residential compensation plan instead of it just being a commission split plan. Okay, so. So here's it. Let me throw a couple of different ways at you. Let me just pull five out that you can look at and see if any of them interest you. And if so, I'll coach you through how you can put one of them or some of them into action in your plan. Okay. So one is longevity, right? What kind of reward do you have for been with your office for a certain amount of time, right? So after somebody's been there a certain amount of time, if you have a graduated plan or if you have a cap rate plan or a flat fee or something like that, do you make an adjustment for those people that have been there after a certain amount of time? So let's say that you look at your total agent population and everybody's been there an average of 5 years, right? If you can get people to stay for an additional 2 years, is the company dollar that you're going to earn by doing that? It's probably going to be pretty substantial. And so that's one. So we'll call that one number 5. We'll call number 4 is give them a different payout on outgoing referrals, right? So, of course you want to be able to make something on it. If you've got a franchise fee to think of, which I know your brokerage does, so you can't lose money and make up for it on volume, right? So how much of it do you really need to have on that type of business in order to retain somebody? The other thing that does is that coaches them to have that conversation when they're in their listing appointment. So as a lot of times. Agents don't think to ask the seller, hey, where are you going? Can I refer you somewhere else? This way it puts them in the frame of mind when they're having that initial conversation that there is a value to the seller of them dealing with them. Meaning, hey, Mr. Seller, I'm going to help you out with this. And by the way, if you're moving somewhere else, I can interview an agent for you there and make sure that things stay on track with that transaction also. If they trust them enough with the house here, then they're going to trust them enough with the house that they're buying there. And then you let the agent pocket a big portion of that money because, quite frankly, a lot of the time that wasn't money that you would have seen anyway, because the agent are often not really trained to ask for that outgoing referral. So we'll call that number 4, and then we'll call number 3 just corporate accounts, right? So tell the agent, sit in a sales meeting and tell all of them, hey, listen, I know you guys want to put more money in your pocket. Everybody, this is what I'm going to do. Any businesses that you talk to that you help get them to use us for their relocation needs, then I'm going to give you either X amount of the total commission or Y amount of the referral fee. You get me in touch with that company and that company does business with us. Of course, you get to be the one that deals with the buyers coming in from that business and the sellers going out from that business. But you also get a part of the referral fee if we refer it to somewhere else and they're able to help them out, then you get X amount, you get 90% or 95% or 100% of whatever the referral fee is that we would normally retain in that situation. So now what it's doing is it's causing them to go out to the people that they know, and it's causing them to have a conversation and say, hey, listen, if your business is moving people, I want to be part of that. And it gives them a financial benefit for them going out and tackling that. And you get the benefit because there's higher volume, higher production, and you get a chance at company dollar that a lot of times you wouldn't have had before. So number 2 is a flat fee on investments, right? So you helping them be in the real estate business. And what I mean by that is them actually buying and selling some properties themselves, right? So brokers run into a lot of agents that get into the business solely to be able to collect part of the commission whenever they're buying and selling properties themselves. That's not really the agents that I'm talking about. I'm talking about how many agents in your office right now, if they bought 2 properties per year, in 10 years they would have 20 properties. What type of retirement would they have if they bought 20 properties over the next 10 years? Not to mention, if you have 50 agents, that's 100 extra units a year that you're going to be able to help them out with. Not to mention how that's going to boost your property management division if you don't have a property management division. And so all you're doing is basically saying, hey, listen, if you buy investment properties, then I'm going to go with a flat fee. It's only $499, or it's only $299, or it's only $1, whatever it is that you want to make it. But it's incentivizing them to go out and generate more business. If you want, you can do it on just the purchase or just the sale of it, right? So if you sell your own property, here's what happens. If you buy your own property, here's what happens. The other thing is, whenever it boils down to their personal residence, take a close look at how you deal with the money on their personal residence. You might want to go with a flat fee on that too, or you might want to say that there's little or no commission dollar that's on the listing side of their personal properties, but maybe there is on a buying side of the properties. So you can work with that part of the transaction some if you want, in order to help them understand that there is a benefit to them being in the business. And what better way for an agent to talk to other people about the importance of real estate if they're in there buying and selling real estate themselves on a regular basis. And the last one is what I call a talent freeze. Okay, so we'll call this one number one. So an agent is at a certain level. You tell them that, hey, listen, if you help me hire 2 agents, and they have $1 million in production, combined production, or singular, they have $1 million in production, or whatever your threshold you want it to be. If you hire them, for every year that you hire them, I will put you at this level and I'll freeze you so that your commission never changes. Because the reality is, if those other people are coming in and they're already productive people, I would really strongly suggest, by the way, that the people that they do with this talent freeze option, that those people are experienced agents, are the only ones that count towards this, not new agents. So those experienced agents come in the front door and they use the talent freeze, and so now instead of them going from a 70 to 100% on their cap rate, they start at 80, and you might be thinking, well, I'm losing 10% in that situation. The truth is, you're actually gaining it on the other 2 people. And the other thing is that it's focusing your staff on having a growth mindset. So what it's doing is it's allowing you to be able to put them in a position to receive the benefit of them talking about your team being a great place to be. Now, they should be talking great about your company, but it doesn't hurt for them to have a financial incentive also. So just make sure that it's apples to apples, right? So if your $10 million producer is doing it, it's going to make a big difference if they only hire $2 million producers. It's going to make a difference in your money. Not a huge one, but it'll make a difference in your money on that cap rate example. If you have a graduated plan, it will make a bigger difference. But of course, we can sit down and go over the numbers and figure out if that one or one of the other ones would actually work better for you. So there's a couple of other options of other things you can do that are similar to this, but why don't we roll up our sleeves, pick out one of these that you think would help you out, and what we can do is we can kind of implement it in your office and use it as part of your recruiting strategy. This is one of those strategies that we just want to have running that's very easy for it to help us generate business on a regular basis, but it's having this kind of running, for lack of a better way of putting it, just running in the background. And it's not something that you really have to put a lot of effort into facilitating. If it helps you keep people, again, what difference would it make if you kept people 2 years longer than what you normally do? And during those 2 years, they help you hire 2 other people. All of that is just going to be the effect of compound interest, for lack of a better way of putting it. Okay, so which ones of these do you think would work, and do you want to take a closer look at?